Hello, all viewers. Welcome to another exciting episode on 1947 to 48 war written by Shri S.N. Prasad and Dharmpal. Today, we'll dive into the key military operations in the Chhamb sector during the critical period of 1947 to 48, a time when India was grappling with newly independent borders and mounting challenges from Pakistan. Dosto, this video is of Chapter 14 Part 3. The operations here were not only about territorial defense, but also highlighted the bravery and determination of the Indian forces in extremely tough conditions. Let's start. First, we will discuss about Pahli Vijaya, early September 1948. Dosto, this operation was part of a series of minor operations undertaken by the 80 Brigade, tasked with defending the Akhnur-Chambari Pattan area. The goal of Pahli Vijaya was to clear the Purani Gakhri area in the Chhamb sector, which was suspected to house two enemy companies. The operation began on 8 September 1948 with 4 Rajput Regiment, supported by 1/9 Gorkha Rifles and J&K militia, marching overnight to launch a surprise attack at dawn. They successfully captured the area with minimal opposition. However, by midday, enemy reinforcements arrived and infiltrated Indian positions through the hilly terrain, forcing Indian troops to pull back after fierce fighting. Several soldiers, including officers, were reported missing. Moving next, let's see about Dusri Vijaya, follow-up operation. Dosto, this operation was launched the next day to recover the missing personnel and casualties. Despite bad weather, the operation was successful, with the wounded and missing soldiers safely brought back, while the fallen were given proper cremation. These operations demonstrated the Indian Army's resilience and commitment to safeguarding every soldier, even under challenging conditions. This signifies two things. 1. Resilience and duty. The Indian Army's unwavering dedication to its soldiers, even in the harshest of conditions, proves its rock-solid commitment to the nation and its men. No excuses, just action. 2. Strategic grit. It's a masterclass in persistence. Despite challenges, sticking to the mission and ensuring success shows the Army's capability to adapt, strategize, and deliver under pressure. Straight-up respect for their resolve and strategy. Let's check out with the relevance of OP art. Dosto, the operations exemplify the fundamental principles of tactical surprise and terrain-focused maneuvers as highlighted in the books. These principles align with discussions on deep operations and decentralized command, like those advocated by Moltke's strategic approaches. The ability to execute operations with independent decision-making at various levels ensured flexibility and adaptability on the battlefield. Next, the tactics used, such as the night march followed by surprise dawn attack, draw direct parallels to methods employed by Napoleonic and Soviet strategies. Both historical precedents emphasized the critical role of speed and the element of surprise in dismantling enemy defenses before they could organize an effective counter. By leveraging these techniques, Indian troops successfully disrupted enemy cohesion and achieved operational objectives swiftly. Lastly, the challenges Indian troops faced, including enemy infiltration through terrain, underscore the operational necessity of terrain analysis and logistics. This reflects a key theme in Soviet operational planning, as seen during the Stalingrad campaign, where understanding the terrain and maintaining robust logistical support were crucial for success. Effective terrain-focused strategies ensured that supply lines were secure and enemy movements were predictable, contributing to overall operational effectiveness. Moving ahead, now let's talk about heavy shelling in Chhamb, November 1948. In early November 1948, Chhamb camp and surrounding villages were subjected to heavy artillery shelling by Pakistani forces. On 4th November, Pakistani 25-pounder guns began bombarding Chhamb, targeting Indian positions and outlying villages. Over 300 shells were fired over several hours. Following the shelling, the enemy launched an infantry assault supported by 3-inch mortars and medium machine guns. The attack, which began at 11:30 p.m., was repelled by Indian forces after fierce fighting. Indian counteroffensive. The next morning, Royal Indian Air Force (RAF) aircraft were deployed to locate and destroy enemy artillery positions. However, the Pakistani forces had already withdrawn their guns back into Pakistan, taking advantage of the border's proximity. This phase highlighted the challenges faced by Indian forces in dealing with cross-border attacks and the mobility of enemy units. Let's check out with the lens of OP Art. It has been taken from chapter American Operational Art 1917 to 2008 by Antulio J. Echevarria II. As per the book, let's understand the relevance. 1. The counter-bombardment efforts and the deployment of the Royal Indian Air Force (RAF) demonstrate effective joint operations, combining air and ground strategies. This approach is a hallmark of American operational art during World War II and subsequent conflicts, emphasizing coordination between different branches of the military. 2. The difficulty in countering enemy mobility across borders reflects the broader challenges of guerrilla and irregular warfare. These challenges are similar to those faced by American forces in Vietnam, where enemy movements were unpredictable and difficult to counter using conventional tactics. 3. The enemy's withdrawal of artillery positions across the border highlights the frustration of engaging a mobile and elusive adversary. This scenario resonates with Vietnam-era operational dilemmas, particularly discussions about the limits of operational effectiveness when pursuing enemies who retreat and re-engage strategically. Moving next, let's check out with enemy shifts focus to Beri Pattan, December 1948. After failing in Chhamb, Pakistan turned its attention to Beri Pattan, launching heavy shelling on 14th December 1948. Over the course of 2 days, 500 shells were fired, causing significant damage, including the destruction of a petrol, oil, and lubricants pole, dump, and an ammunition dump. The shelling also damaged the iron ropes of the Beri Pattan bridge, making it unusable for vehicle movement. Despite these challenges, Indian forces maintained supply lines by using alternate routes under enemy fire, reinforcements, and morale boost. The 80 Brigade commander personally visited Beri Pattan to boost morale and sent reinforcements from 7 by to Punjab. Indian troops displayed remarkable resilience, continuing their operations and ensuring supplies reached forward positions. Let's see with reference to OP Art. Chapter The Rise and Fall of Israeli Operational Art 1948 to 2008 by Avi Kober. 1. The Pakistani shift in focus to disrupt Indian logistics draws a parallel to the 1973 Yom Kippur War, where Israeli supply chains were a primary target of enemy forces. This highlights the operational significance of targeting logistics to destabilize an opponent's warfighting capability. 2. The destruction of the Beri Pattan bridge's iron ropes, forcing Indian troops to adapt their supply lines under fire, exemplifies the operational principle of resilience in logistics. This reflects themes discussed in Avi Kober's work, where the ability to improvise under pressure was critical to sustaining combat operations. 3. The brigade commander's personal visit to the front lines to boost troop morale resonates with examples of leadership in Israeli operational history. This emphasizes the human element in warfare, where direct leadership and maintaining morale are as vital as tactical and strategic planning. Moving ahead, let's check out the strategic challenges and ceasefire. Dosto, the Chhamb area and surrounding sectors were highly strategic because they bordered Pakistan and controlled key canal systems of West Punjab. Pakistan had a logistical advantage with its major bases near the Jhangar-Mirpur front, allowing them to reinforce positions quickly. In contrast, India's bases were farther away, making it difficult to launch large-scale offensives. As the conflict escalated, logistical challenges delayed India's ability to mount a major offensive in the region until spring or early summer of 1949. However, the ceasefire agreement, implemented on 1 January 1949, came before any large-scale operations could be launched. As a result, areas like Mirpur and Muzaffarabad remained under Pakistani control, marking the start of the ongoing territorial dispute in Jammu and Kashmir. Let's relate it with OP Art chapter. Operational Art and Britain, 1909 to 2009 by Hugh Strachan and Napoleon, and the Dawn of Operational Warfare by Martin van Creveld. 1. Dosto, the geographical proximity of Pakistani bases compared to the more distant Indian bases highlights the logistical challenges faced by Indian forces. As detailed in Strachan's analysis of British campaigns, operational planning becomes exponentially harder when logistics and supply lines are stretched thin in distant theaters of war. 2. The delays in launching a large-scale offensive by Indian forces reflect the enduring issue of supply chain limitations, a challenge also faced by Napoleon and British forces in history. Proximity to operational bases and maintaining supply lines directly influenced the ability to sustain campaigns and constrained strategic options. The ceasefire agreement demonstrates how operational outcomes are often tied to political and strategic decisions rather than purely military success. Both Strachan and Van Creveld emphasize this recurring theme in their analysis of historical campaigns, where operational results and broader strategic objectives were intertwined. Let's come to the conclusion. Dosto, the operations in Chhamb during 1947 to 48 reflect the complexities of defending newly drawn borders under constant enemy pressure. While Indian forces showed exceptional bravery, the terrain, logistical challenges, and proximity to the border added layers of difficulty. For exam aspirants, these operations are an excellent case study of India's early military strategies and the importance of adapting to geographical and logistical challenges during conflict. If you found this breakdown useful, like, share, and subscribe for more such content. Drop your questions or topics in the comments, and I'll cover them in upcoming videos. Best of luck with your studies. Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe for more updates. Jai Hind.